Welcome back, everyone. We're entering Kenny Chesney's thrilling new chapter. The sweet crooner sang of sandy coastlines and numerous bachelor experiences and has ended his bachelor days. Kenny's path from hottie to heart-taken is riveting. We'll discuss his journey from solitary serenades to living with someone wonderful. We'll sweep you away with a love tale redefining Kenny Chesney's paradise and demonstrating that even the most independent can find their match. Don't miss this romantic revelation. Stay tuned. On March 26, 1968, in the Tennessee town of Knoxville, Kenny Chesney was born Kenneth Arnold Chesney, the son of Karen Chandler and David Chesney. David Chesney, his father, was an elementary school teacher, and Karen was a hairdresser in the community. From a young age, Chesney showed his exceptional skill and charm with his younger sister, Jennifer, but none could have foreseen the extent of his stardom. Collaborative individual. A person with Kenny Chesney's level of skill and accomplishment would have shown a strong appreciation and aptitude for music from an early age. However, the reality is that they weren't originally released in music, even though the young Chesney was playing star potential. Growing up, Chesney loved athletics and participated in baseball and football in high school. Chesney didn't pick up a guitar until he was 18, but that moment would permanently alter his life. The years of college. You would assume that Kenny Chesney's professional path would be obvious and well-defined now that he has finally discovered his genuine love and talent, music. The young Chesney did not consider music a vocation, despite his intense passion for it and songwriting. Rather, he enrolled in Johnson City's East Tennessee State University for an advertising degree. Nevertheless, he continued to compose and perform music throughout his studies, and by the time he had his diploma, he was certain that the music industry was where he was meant to be. Getting his direction. At last, with his college degree behind him, Kenny Chesney could devote all of his energy to his music profession. The driven young Chesney decided to self-release the record since he was a free thinker and independent spirit. He sold the album in local clubs where he performed and independently marketed the record. Although the album didn't quite reach platinum status, it did sell 1,000 copies, which gave Chesney enough money to purchase a new guitar for himself. Furthermore, it offered him his first experience of being a musician, which he cherished. Sound City. As he started to gain some local notoriety, Chesney realized that living in a bustling area with a vibrant scene would elevate his chances of being noticed by a potential record label talent scout. This was especially important for him if he wanted to succeed in the music business. His adventures were about to start when he uprooted and relocated to Nashville, Tennessee, sometimes referred to as Music City, due to its prominence in the country music industry, in 1990. City dweller. Upon settling into his new life in Nashville, Chesney realized he needed to make a name for himself in the music business by performing live as often as possible. By chance, he was hired by The Turf, a boisterous pub in downtown. Chesney started doing regular work there as the house singer for the establishment's party-loving patrons. The gifted vocalist knew this would be his path to fame, but he was unaware of the difficult road ahead. Major setback. Chesney's frequent appearances at The Turf attracted the attention of prominent figures in the music industry, just as he wanted, and ultimately, he received a very thrilling phone call. BMI's Clay Bradley sought to arrange a meeting between Chesney and Opryland's Troy Tomlinson. Chesney was picked up for a songwriting deal by Tomlinson, who saw his ability and promise right away. Chesney was going to make it big, but he was going to have a rough road first. A superb indication. As it turned out, Chesney's increasing notoriety would lead to a contract that would instantly transform his life and turn him into a real-world singing sensation. This happened when he went to a songwriting showcase for Capricorn Records, a Nashville-based independent record firm that had just opened a country music section. Chesney became an official recording artist when Capricorn signed him to their label after his outstanding showcase performance. Dreams accomplished. After joining Capricorn Records, Chesney started working on a country music record. 1994 saw the release of the future country music superstar's first album, My Wildest Dreams. Selling 10,000 copies, the CD more than lived up to its moniker, in his opinion. This was 10 times the number of copies he had sold of his initial offering, while not quite reaching the massive sales he would eventually enjoy. It seemed as if Chesney's career was taking off, but something unexpected was about to happen that would crush his hopes. Abrupt blow. Kenny Chesney seemed to be in the lap of luxury. After securing a record company, he launched his first studio album, which sold far more than his prior release. For the rising celebrity, everything seemed to be going well, until he got some news that would completely upend his life and end his career. His record company, Capricorn, stated that they were closing their country music section in 1994, shortly after his CD was released. It seems Chesney had returned to being a touring musician searching for a record contract. Retake. Still, Chesney was everything but back to zero. Granted, he was no longer unrepresented and hunting for a new record contract, but this time he had a first studio album that sold around 10,000 copies. Chesney was thus in a stronger position to get a new record contract, and in the end, he signed with a label. This one was much larger than the last. Chesney's new agreement was with B&A, Sony's country music arm. Creating stirs. Having signed with a major label, Chesney realized he had the resources and exposure to make a breakthrough. To justify the trust placed in him, he now just needed a record to show that confidence translated into sales. As it happens, Chesney's album, All I Need to Know, was published in 1995. Would it meet the high standards set by his recently formed record label? Superstar. Following the success of these two albums, Chesney established himself as a true star in the country music industry. His following album, No Shirt, No Shoes, No Problems, immediately shot to the top of the country charts after this, as did the album's first song, The Good Stuff. This song tells the tale of a guy who fights with his wife, but finally realizes how much he still loves her. Emerging. By this point, Chesney had become one of the greatest names in country music. However, he was poised to become a mainstream sensation in all genres, and even lovers of non-country music were going to recognize and value his abilities. His album, When the Sun Goes Down, published in 2004, became the #1 song on the Billboard charts, not only the country charts, but also the cross-genre charts. In the country charts, his single, There Goes My Life, peaked at the top and remained there for an incredible 7 weeks. Chesney thought he was doing well, but was blind to the impending catastrophe. Stage accident. Chesney appeared in South Carolina on his Poets and Pirates tour in 2007. He was hoisted off a lift to make a theatrical entry onto the stage, but things quickly took a much more dramatic and somber turn. As Chesney walked onto the stage, the lift broke, trapping and crushing his foot in the mechanism. Incredibly, Chesney overcame his injuries and went on to play despite it. "I took one look at those fans, and there was no way I wasn't going on," he stated in a post-show statement. "Sometimes the energy and the adrenaline pull you through." Heart-related issues. The way Kenny Chesney bravely and professionally survived this terrifying shock and carried on with the act despite excruciating agony from his onstage injury astounded many. He was not only very committed and passionate about music, but he also understood the significance of every fan's support for the performance to go on. However, Chesney privately wished for a more romantic kind of tremendous love in his life behind the scenes. Discovering love. The reality is, despite being one of the most popular celebrities in the world, Kenny Chesney longed for the affection of a loving partner with whom he could spend his life. When he finally met the love of his life and fellow celebrity Renee Zellweger, who starred in the wildly successful Bridget Jones films in 2004, it seemed he had struck gold. The two became friends over their shared goal to serve others when they met while volunteering at a tsunami relief event. The tumultuous relationship that was about to ensue was unknown to them. Joyous wedlock. For Kenny Chesney and his new partner, Renee Zellweger, it seemed to be a true happily ever after. The pair announced their engagement after nearly a year of dating, which solidified their love for one another. In May 2005, they were married in a stunning seaside wedding. It seemed like Chesney had finally met his true love after years of performing emotional love songs and earning admirers worldwide. Attorney forward. Fans and media outlets across the globe were eager to determine the precise meaning of Zellweger's usage of the word fraud to characterize Chesney's actions and the role he had played in their marriage. However, Zellweger soon resolved the riddle, clarifying that Chesney had done nothing improper. She told etonline.com, "The term fraud in the documentation is simply legal language and not a reflection of Kenny's character." As it turned out, Chesney would be even more forthright about his actions throughout their marriage. The absolute truth. Following much conjecture, Chesney revealed the real reason for his breakup with Renee Zellweger. He acknowledged that he had, in a way, committed fraud since, at the time of their marriage, he had no concept of what marriage would entail and had no notion of what kind of life they would be leading together. "I had no idea what a real marriage entailed." He told Playboy, "I had to commit to marriage since I was so accustomed to giving my all to music. I was unsure of how to give myself to them both. For me, it was a frightening time." A period's end. As Chesney and Zellweger started the convoluted legal process to dissolve their marriage, it was obvious that their marriage was about to end, or so they believed. Because of the grounds behind their breakup, dissolving their relationship proved easier than anticipated. It became evident to the two that married life was very different from what they had signed up for as soon as they experienced it firsthand and learned what it included from one another. Because they had already declared their intentions, the couple's marriage was dissolved rather than requiring a formal divorce. Love teachings. Many people had assumed that Chesney was hiding things from Renee Zellweger, his short-lived wife and lover. Had he misled her about his sentiments, or was he having romances behind her back? Chesney then revealed that this couldn't be farther from the truth, and that in reality, he found it difficult to meet women and date in general. He told Playboy, "I was the guy in college who never got girls." However, all of that was about to change once he rose to prominence. A real love story. Chesney saw he was getting better results with women as he rose to fame as a country music artist. He even went so far as to admit to Playboy that he had more than 100 love relationships in his lifetime. He said, "I'm such a free spirit. When I have someplace to go, I feel more alive. I can live on my boat with a female, a guitar, and a Bob Marley CD for a few weeks, but then I have to move on." However, it turns out that Chesney was devoted to a long-term relationship. Eternal love. Following years of rumors, Kenny Chesney made it known to the public that he was in a serious relationship with a lady who could never be compared to anybody else. So, who was this enigmatic love interest in Chesney's life? Of course, his passion and dedication to creating music was the response. "It's interesting to date when you've already got a mistress," he stated to ABC News. "And my mistress is music," he said. That did not, however, imply that Chesney's love life was over. Fresh girl. Kenny Chesney was devastated that his marriage to Renee Zellweger had failed, but he knew he couldn't allow himself to give up on love. As expected, Chesney discovered he was falling in love again, this time with Amy Colley, a former beauty queen and nurse who had treated burn victims. Mutual acquaintances are said to have introduced Chesney and the former Miss Tennessee, who soon seemed very infatuated. They were even sighted vacationing together in opulent locations like Malibu and the Bahamas. Becoming serious. Fans and media outlets alike were quite thrilled when it seemed like Chesney and his new girlfriend were taking things a step further, meeting the parents, after being sighted on romantic trips together. Yes, in addition to their 2-week getaway, the couple enjoyed themselves with each other's families. The fact that Collie had been seen driving Chesney's prized pickup truck, which he never let anyone else touch, was even more noteworthy. Could this be the singing star's second marriage? Heartbroken, Amy Collie seemed to be the one who could satisfy Kenny Chesney's emotional needs and preserve his spirit of adventure and freedom. Sadly, however, the pair broke up after 2 years of dating. The rumors started swirling once again, this time claiming that Collie stopped things because Chesney had cheated on her with another woman. Collie and Chesney remained silent in response to the rumors, but everyone was waiting to see what would happen next. Romance on holiday. The Globe was watching Kenny Chesney closely to see what would transpire in his love life and if he and Collie were still together or had moved on to someone else. Even if he had remained silent about the facts, the images of him enjoying another romantic vacation, this time with a different woman, spoke for themselves. This time, Jen Brown, a sports presenter, was the woman in question. The tabloids went bananas when they saw the two together, and they started to speculate that she was the reason he broke up with Collie. She is a well-known face herself. Confusion. Although Brown, Collie, and Chesney kept quiet about the real reason for any potential love triangle, things were about to grow much more difficult. Further information and speculation on his extramarital affairs surfaced as the media's curiosity about his private life reached a fever pitch. Sarah Evans, a singer who had also just separated from her spouse, Craig Selsky, was one such possible liaison. They never officially announced their relationship, but they would have been an incredible super couple in the country music industry. Dedicated partner. Furthermore, other rumors were circulating about Kenny Chesney's personal life. Many people also thought that Jamie Hill, alias Miss Carolina, was involved in a covert relationship with beauty pageant queen Jamie Hill. Not only did they assume that they were dating, but they also suspected that they had been secretly dating for around 10 years, starting back in 2008. Is it possible that Chesney had secretly been married years before, behind closed doors, which is why he had never made the decision public? Expectations smashed. However, as more individuals looked into this option, it became more obvious that it was unlikely true. When followers and media outlets dug further into Chesney's and Hill's social media pages, they discovered something unexpected on Hill's Instagram. Many images and tributes to another guy. It seemed that Hill was already wed to a strong lumberjack. Thus, it seemed improbable that these tidings of a protracted covert liaison with Chesney were true. Comfortable co-stars. Even though this particular rumor was untrue, many were still fixated on Chesney's love life and potential behind-the-scenes partners. A fellow country music artist, Miranda Lambert, was the next lady on the singing superstar's list of potential new companions. Superstar Lambert has accompanied Kendrick Lamar on 2 headlining tours, the Sun City Carnival and Spread the Love. Is Chesney's preferred onstage partner the one he has selected for a specific role behind the scenes? Persistent nearness. While Chesney and Lambert collaborated on their tours, showcasing a closeness and companionship that created an electrifying live performance, rumors persisted that there could be more between the two celebrities than friendship. Was it conceivable that Chesney had finally met his match in this equally gifted and captivating singing superstar? Although the two have never acknowledged a romantic relationship behind the scenes, it is obvious that they have chemistry. Particular someone. The rumors of a relationship between Miranda Lambert and Kenny Chesney were just rumors. Not only did the two of them act completely professional toward one another, but there were also indications that our singing sensation was in a different kind of love connection. Known for keeping quiet about his personal life, Chesney ignited speculation about a possible relationship after a certain lady was seen backstage at the 2012 American Country Countdown Awards. Was this lady present as Chesney's girlfriend? And if so, who was she? The whole globe needed to be aware. Unidentified girl. The likelihood that this enigmatic lady was the special someone in Kenny Chesney's life behind the scenes grew with time. She started to accompany him to an increasing number of award shows, including the CMA Awards, where she even kissed his cheek when he won the Pinnacle Award in 2016. After years of tumultuous speculation about his romantic relationships and a tumultuous quest for love, it seemed like Chesney had at last met his true love. The unmarried life. The media and Kenny Chesney's admirers worldwide have been captivated by his private life and love ups and downs throughout his career. Rumors about him and his quest for true love have persisted over the years, owing to everything from his public marriage to Renee Zellweger and subsequent annulment to his efforts to maintain the privacy of the remainder of his life. With the publication of the song Better as a Memory, which discussed his problems and the notion that he would be happier alone, Chesney added to this interest. Was Chesney just unable to make a lifelong commitment? His life is gone. Nonetheless, Kenny Chesney's love songs don't accurately depict the circumstances behind the scenes. Specifically, in the song There Goes My Life, the protagonist, an adolescent, laments the passing of his life as he knows it and is horrified to find that his fiancée is pregnant. However, is Kenny Chesney really as down-to-earth about relationships and getting married as this song implies? Although the evidence from his personal life suggests otherwise, his songs may tell one thing. Considering the future. Long-term girlfriend Mary Nolan seems to be Kenny Chesney's true love, even though he often sings about his nature as a single man and his personal relationship struggles. The lyrics of his song, There Goes My Life, eventually speak about a young adolescent discovering the value of a stable relationship and a family life, despite the song's first seeming criticism of settling down. Despite his challenges, Chesney finally found happiness with his true partner. We are all inspired by Chesney's tenacity and unwavering faith in love, despite his challenges.
If you've watched the video till here, that means you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notifications bell icon